myself. Hello, my name is Fadhilah, and today I'd like to talk about factors affecting the development of speaking abilities. I've chosen this topic because most of the students right now, especially the beginning and intermediate ESL students, cannot speak English fluently, right? Yes. They tend to write, listen, and read in English, but they cannot talk in English. So, as the future teachers, what should we do to deal with this great problem? So, first, we should know the factors affecting the development of speaking abilities. Regarding to this topic, I'm going to consider two main sections. To begin with, three factors affecting the development of speaking abilities. Following this, what is the most important factor? So now let's take a look on these sections one by one. To start with, what are factors which affect the development of speaking abilities to the students itself? In the book of the Tapestry of Language Learning, there are three factors that affect the development of speaking abilities of the students. What are them? The first is the opportunity of the students to interact with more proficient peers and native speakers. The students should have opportunity to interact with more proficient or more knowledgeable students in order to help the students develop their speaking abilities. As teachers, we may vary our strategies. It can be through films, peer teaching, or storytelling. Or if it's possible, we may invite a native speaker to be our guest. Because as we know, the students right now are very interesting with native speakers, right? Yes, and hopefully it will motivate them to speak in English. And what is the second? The second is fluency and accuracy activities. We must or we should provide our students with more opportunities to practice their English in order to make them fluent. Let them speak and express their ideas. After practicing, we may teach them accuracy by introducing them, for example, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and so on. As what Bjorn stated, while fluency activities provide students with opportunities to practice language that they already acquired, accuracy activities provide students with opportunities to perfect their mastery of English. That's the second. And the last or the third is strategy training for speaking. As teachers, we may or we can teach our students taking turn talking and interrupting. We can also teach how to ask for clarification, repetition, slow down, and explain something. Or in addition, we can teach them how to gain time to think and also to change topic in a conversation. So those are the factors that affect the development of students' abilities. Well, are you following me?
Yes, I am.
Yes, it's very nice. Yeah, let's now consider what is the most important factor among the three factors that I've explained before. In my view, the key factor of ESL development is the opportunity which is given to the students to speak. It is useless to teach the students about the accuracy, fluency, and strategies, but they never practice, right? Yeah, but that's the phenomenon right now. Well, to sum up what I've been saying, I want to remind you that there are three factors which affect the development of speaking abilities. Would you recall them? The first is the opportunities of the students, yes, to interact with more proficient peers and native speakers. And then what is the second? Fluency and accuracy activities. And the third is strategy training for speaking. But the most important factor is the opportunity of the students in speaking. So as the future teachers, we should consider and pay more attention to this factor in order to help our students to develop their speaking abilities. Well, thank you for your time. And if there's something which needs clarifying, please ask me. Yes, Ikon, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Fadhilah. Actually, I'm totally agree with all of your arguments about the factors that affect to speaking proficiency of the learners. But the problem is that, for example, your first factor is that about the more opportunities to students to speak with, for example, their peers or another native speakers. The problem that will occur here is that when you are teaching in the remote village or in the remote area, where the first problem is that it's hard to find for example, the students who have more knowledge than the other students, because in that situations, all of the students level are similar for example, in the low level. And the second problem is that how to find the native in that area. So how to deal with the problem when you are as a future teacher and then you are asked to teach in the remote village or remote area? Thank you.
Well, I will try to answer your question. Okay, the first is about the peers. What about if all of the students in the remote area have the same knowledge about English? If I teach them later, I will make or I will create a creative strategy, of course, to teach them. Of course, the way to teach the students in the remote area will be different with the way we teach, for example, in Kendari. In Kendari, we can apply this strategy. We can ask one students to talk with more proficient students or more knowledgeable students, but in remote area we cannot do that. So, as the teachers, we should find a good strategy how to make the students can interact each other, even though they are in the same level. But the most important thing is the opportunities to speak. That's the key point. So even though they do not have same level, but the important thing is the opportunity which is given to the teacher. Not teacher-centered, but student-centered. And the second is about the native speaker. Yes, of course, we hardly to find native speakers in remote area. That's also the challenge. But if I were the teacher, I will recommend to the governor, what about we invite some native speakers to this area and then motivate the students to learn English more. Okay, are you happy with my question?
Yes.
With my answer?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, Apriya.
Thank you. My name is Sarah. My question is a little bit related with Siti Amana's questions before. For the students who lives or who learn in remote area or remote village, we know that they have this strong accent, which is come from their traditional language. My question is it a problem that they have this strong accent which, when they speak English, or is it okay as long as they can speak English?
Okay. In my opinion, to leave our accent is a very difficult thing. Most of us cannot do it. But in my opinion, it's okay if we take our accent into English. It is okay as long as the people that we interact with understand with us, and also I think it is typical of Indonesia, of Indonesia. So it is quite hard to ask them to leave their accent, but yeah, as long as you can understand what they mean, it's okay. Yes, Ajis, please.
Okay. I want to ask about you have said that the key fact, one of the most important factors in order to increase students' speaking ability in speaking is give them opportunities to speak. But sometimes even if we have already give them opportunities to speak, but the students won't speak. Maybe there's a lot of solution about this problem. How about yours? That's all.
Well, back to the motivation of the students itself. If the teachers already give the students opportunities, back to the motivation of the students. If the students do not have motivation in learning English, so what can we do? Is that okay? Because the time is limited. Thank you very much for your participation.